Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome. It's Thursday, August 5th, 2010. We're going to have wide open phones throughout the full 3 hours and a mass of vital news and information coming up. I know I've been on a 3-day jag dealing with hundreds, literally hundreds that I have seen of mainstream news articles and blogs and universities and governments and major think tanks calling for Prozac and other serotonin reuptake inhibitors, lithium, a dangerous metal, an antipsychotic, to be added to the water. It's got to be more than 50 articles. I mean, that's just a dead reckoning number. It's basically unlimited. You can read as many as you want to find, dealing with cognitive enhancer vaccines. And they say in the articles, mercury cognitively enhances you. It's an admitted heavy metal, extremely toxic to the brain. And they say, no, this will enhance your children being injected with mercury. They've been saying that for about 5 years. You know, we've played different newscasts here where they say mercury is good for your child's brain, according to the government's definition of good behavior, submitting to the tyranny. I've been on a jag dealing with this, and I'm not going to cover it today. You're welcome to call in about it until in the third hour, because there have been some big developments dealing with it in our video, brain-eating vaccines, being the top search engine off and on the last 2 days. Wired magazine putting out a disinfo piece against it. Of course, one of the most famous tabloids out there, the folks that, bring you Bat Boy and the president meeting with aliens on their cover. They're the folks that give the National Enquirer a bad name. The National Enquirer actually does some of the best investigative journalism, and they never have stories about Bat Boy or aliens, landing at the White House. They get associated in the checkout line with Weekly World News. And so they basically took my article and reported on it like it was real to discredit it, and posted my video, but spun it saying we'll all be zombies killing people in the streets. So last night I did about 3 hours of additional, not just research, I've already researched this over the last decade, but collating the research. I thought I'd actually go over these new classes of so-called vaccines. There's 3 different ways they reprogram your brain. They go in and attack receptor sites and actually destroy the receptor sites for aggression or anger or stress, which motivates you to know when you're too tired or when you need to get motivated to get angry. I mean, it's like saying, we're going to give you an injection to get rid of your nerve endings so you don't feel pain. You don't know the day without the night. You don't know the good without the bad. It's like the ship without a storm, the night without a dawn. It's like the good without the bad. And this latest Wire article, they've written 2 in 1 day attacking me, comes out and says, well, we've written an article dealing with defects in the brain, defects in humanity. Don't you love it? You've got these people who come along, and they're going to fix you with lithium in the water. They're going to fix you with Prozac in the water. They're going to fix you with statins in the water for your cholesterol. They're going to fix you, and they're going to inject you with something that fixes your brain. And they're always lisping chicken necks who can hardly talk. But they just walk around as the ultimate posers going, oh, we're so smart, and oh, we're so great, and oh, we're so intellectual. What they are is a bunch of control freak sickos, and it's time we sweep these people aside intellectually. I mean, Wired Magazine thinks you're so dumb, this particular writer, that he said that I'm a delusional liar and that there's no calls for lithium in the water, when it's all over the New York Times, you name it. And one of his own colleagues from Oxford, and I did some research, turns out these two know each other, is calling for forced lithium. Well, forced Prozac. And another bioethicist is calling for forced lithium. He just thinks he tells you it doesn't exist, so it doesn't. Listen up, friends. This is Alex Jones with key information.
The mainstream media is now admitting that we're going into a depression. Don't be dependent on the government for you and your family. You need to get your own supply of high-quality storable foods from efoodsdirect.com. They're the best company out there, the longest continually operating, with a ton of great food to choose from. It's all fresh, made on a monthly basis, not some old cruddy food they're selling you like some of the other guys. Try their new Evacuation Pack, a 2-week supply of delicious, easy-to-fix food. It comes with all the equipment you need to prepare it. With open talk of a strike on Iran in the next 3 months, the crisis in the Gulf, and possible evacuations, get yourself and your family ready today. The place to go is efoodsdirect.com. Go to their website online right now, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or call 800-409-5633. Again, on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or give them a call at 800-409-5633.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You are being warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films. Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
It is Thursday, the 5th day of August, 2010. I'm Alex Jones. Wide open phones and masses of vital news and information we'll be covering today. Thank you so much for joining us. The toll-free number to join us is 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231. You can call in about any issue you want. Every time I see this article, since yesterday, my blood boils. This is just one issue I'd like to get your views on. CNET News, a division of CBS Broadcasting, feds admit storing checkpoint body scan images. And at one airport in Florida, in Orlando, 35,314 images. Everyone that went through it with your name, digital, high-grade res scans of your genitals. Your son, your daughter, your wife, your husband, your grandmother. Airport employees, everybody. Your genitals. Now, we already knew this and reported it off and on in the last year, and wrote stories about it at PrisonPlanet.com and Infowars.com. It was in the federal regulations. But it's an illustration of how brazen and how criminal and how larcenous and how outrageously corrupt Big Sis is, Janet Napolitano, and how arrogant they are and how they lie to you continually. Just like they told you the Patriot Act wasn't for U.S. citizens, it was only for terrorism. Section 802 said all misdemeanors. No Bill of Rights, no Constitution. Any action that endangers human life that's a violation of any federal or state law, including jaywalking, no constitutional right. And within a year of it passing, hundreds and hundreds of articles, you can just search the term, Patriot Act used in drug cases, Patriot Act used in violent crime, Patriot Act used in marijuana cases, Patriot Act used in family court. Articles that say thousands of times in Florida, thousands of times in Texas. It's used thousands of times a year per state. Of course they lie to you. This is what these criminals do. They told you, oh, we're passing legislation to reform the Federal Reserve and the banks. And then what did it openly state? What does AP, Reuters, Fox News now admit after it passed? Napolitano, Judge Napolitano, Ron Paul, myself, we all read the bill, told you it gives them unlimited power over the economy, including, in Napolitano's words, over a hot dog stand, anything that deals with the economy, and allows the SEC to not get in trouble when they protect people like Madoff. But they told the public, this is going to fix derivatives. This is going to fix counterfeiting instruments, financial instruments. No. It does nothing to stop it. Nothing to allow these select 6 global megabanks to issue any amount of fake credit they want, which is an undue trade advantage. They can buy off whoever they... I mean, it just makes my blood boil. Everything they do is a manifest total criminal action. And the sky's the limit, as they reported in Bloomberg last week. What did they report in Bloomberg last week? That every major insurance company in the last 4 years got the feds to change regulations. Not a law. The feds just changed the regulations. They're not even real laws, to allow them to keep your death benefits. And it mentioned cases of $400,000, $500,000, or more dollars of people's insurance policies in the military, the death benefits, and they just keep the money and say, you know what, you're not going to get it. And if you try to protest, we'll send men out in black uniforms and ski masks with batons to beat your brains in, pal. We'll have unmarked black vans with plain clothes, private mercenaries grab you and put a bag over your head. They are stealing everything. And don't say you weren't warned, for people that listen to this show and make jokes about it. Don't say you weren't warned. They now admit we're going into a depression, that there was never a let up in the recession. All right, I'm ranting. I just want to take your phone calls today and cover the news. Let me just mention the stacks I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stacks. I mean, look at this baby. Look at this baby right here. This baby is vaccines that attack your brain and drugs in the water, all mainstream news and government documents. Look at that. That's got to be 30, 40, 50 articles and government documents. We're going to try to get into that in the third hour today. But let me just run over a few of the headlines, and I'm going right to your calls, and I'm going to intersperse this news throughout the transmission. Police filmed dragging woman and babies during protest, CNN. We've got this linked up on Infowars.com. And what's chilling about this in France is they're beating up these African immigrants and dragging babies along the ground. And the video goes on and on and on and on. And the CNN host says, well, this is what government has to do to maintain order. If they're going to deport the illegals, which they're not even doing, they're getting rid of their shantytown, you sure don't need to drag babies along the ground. And what's done to immigrants is later done to other people. If you can get away with this with immigrants, and that's why I have protested at the FEMA camp in Taylor, where they hold entire illegal alien families with their children. They send CPS in and adopt some of their kids out. They're in there taking them for American families that want them. Most of the American families are compartmentalized and don't realize what's going on and don't know where these Hispanic 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds they're getting came from. And they really abuse their rights. I'm against having open borders, but I'm also against abusing their rights. On top of it, Rex 84 from the 1986 congressional hearings with Oliver North and others, and the subsequent articles in the Houston Chronicle